Mbeumo has decided to join Man United. Breaking news from the one-day call, Mr. David Ornstein, within the last hour. And that is a decision that Mbeumo has ignored interest from Arsenal. He's ignored interest from Spurs, and he's ignored interest from Newcastle United, and he's made his decision. He has communicated his decision. He wants to join Man United, and now the two clubs are speaking to try and broker a deal. We know that Brentford are looking for 50 million plus. He has 1 year left on his deal, and Brentford do have the option to trigger for an extended 12-month period. Who knows whether they'll take that option? Probably not now, but a massive turn up for the books as Mbeumo wants to join Man United. And this is music to my ears. Premier League proven. Matheus Cunha through the door. Mbeumo on the way. This is exactly what I needed to hear. They all laughed at me when we were linked with Matheus Cunha. And I went, hold on a minute. But Mbeumo, though, like, I feel like, and this was a kind of instead of, I was like, 50 million, he's also 25. You know what I'm saying? He's like 10, 12 million less than Cunha. Could we maybe look at Mbeumo? And Man United have shown big intent and gone and got Matheus Cunha done and dusted and announced, and are now in negotiations as Mbeumo has decided to join Man United. There are now in negotiations for Mbeumo. Here's what David Ornstein had to say. He said, Mbeumo has decided he wants to join Man United, and the Old Trafford club is set to open talks with Brentford as they pursue an agreement to sign the forward this summer. He goes on to say the 20 goals and 8 assists that he's got this season has attracted interest from the likes of Arsenal, Newcastle United, and Tottenham, but Mbeumo favours a switch to Man United, which backs up the news that we were told by James from the Muppeteers. Shout out to James from the Muppeteers. Put respect on James. He was saying this is bubbling along. He was told that this is moving on nicely. He didn't expect it this soon, but he was told that this is going in the right direction. That was seconded by Ben Jacobs as well earlier on today, and also subsequently in other days as well, where they were saying that Man United are actively trying to pursue a deal for Mbeumo. Shout out Alex Crook as well. Shout out to Crookie at TalkSport. He was across this alongside Ben Jacobs. So there's a lot of guys who have been doing a lot of good work on this. But in true Ornstein fashion, he is the one who comes through with the Ornstein bomber. He is the one who comes through and says the decision has been made. Ornstein didn't really get involved in the exploring this and this, that, and the third. He just kicked the door down and said, Mbeumo has decided. And you know what? I'm gassed. I don't care. I'm gassed. There's time for being calm. There's time for not getting too carried away. There's time for, our Ineos, listen, can't trust it. There's a time for that. But in this moment, it's looking like we're going to get Mbeumo, and that is a top signing alongside Matheus Cunha. It's exactly what Man United have been needing. Direct players, strong players, clever players, clinical players, creative players. All 5 of them exist. All 5 of them criteria exist within those 2 players, Matheus Cunha and Mbeumo. And listen, there's a bigger context to talk about. Does this mean that Bruno Fernandes is definitely leaving? Does this mean that they're planning for Bruno? Does this mean they already got the hunch that Bruno is going to accept the terms from Al Hilal and leave, and this is the money that they're counting on? I don't know, but we'll soon find out within this week. By Friday, we'll know. But one thing for certain is that, again, another player who has said, I don't care about the Champions League. It's not a deal breaker for me. Matheus Cunha said it. He had different offers. I know Arsenal looked at him in January and other months, and there's some others who have. He made it very clear, though, that he didn't want to sit down listening to everyone's project. He made it clear, I want to go to Manchester United, before we even played in the Europa League final. It was regardless of that. Mbeumo has now made his decision that he wants to come to Man United. And clearly, obviously, this is after the Europa League final. We all know what happened, and we all know the situation Man United is in. And it just proves that Man United somehow can sometimes, and I say sometimes because we're not what we were, but we are still able to compete for good signings. And this is a top signing. Look at this. Look at that. Expressions, where are you now? Where are you now? This was used as a cuss. I ain't even put the, there you go. This was used as a cuss. Mbeumo. Yeah. And look now, he's on our way to our club. Meanwhile, you lot don't even know if you're going to keep Ange, blood. Where are you now, bro? Hold that, bro. Where are you now? But for us, It's a massive signing. I'm over the moon. I'm buzzing. I'm gassed with this signing because far too long we've had to look at players who can't take the ball, players who aren't strong, players who don't have any sense, players who are not streetwise with the ball, players who don't have end product, players who don't know when to pass, players who don't know when to shoot. We've seen it. We've seen it. And you talk about inside tens that are physical. We need physicality in this team, real physicality and quality. And we've just got it. Well, we're in talks to get it with Brentford. Let's see what the fee is. I think it was always likely Man United were going to get, the two signings without the sales. And for it to be Bryan Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha, that is proper. And you know what? Some people were talking crap, trying to put negativity out there about, there's a feeling that United's not moving quick enough and the players are there just for negativity and engagement farming. And the reality is, like I said before, listen, we already signed Matheus Cunha. We were already trying to get Liam Delap over the line, and we're potentially going to get Mbeumo over the line because he's decided he wants to join us. So that's the first part of it done. So to everyone that was like, what are we going to do, this, that, and the other? Listen, I'm not getting carried away. I know I'm excited and I'm happy. But this is, again, after finishing 15th, this is a minimum requirement of what these guys should be doing. They should have been planning from before. You go and attack your targets and you go and get them in early. And it looks like that's what's going to happen with these two for sure. Well, definitely, we've already done it with Cunha. And it looks like it's going to happen with Mbeumo. But let's be honest, you can't say fairer than that as a start point. As a start point. We need about 5 starters to come into this team. There's 2. There's 2 immediately. And for me, Ineos, listen, we don't want to get into, they deserve so much credit and stuff. They've got so much to prove after so much failings earlier on. But this is a good start. That's what I will say. This is a good start, and it's a move that makes sense. And it looks like, fingers crossed, it looks like this is something that will be executed fairly quickly. The transfer window has only just opened officially yesterday, and we'd already got Cunha in the bag. Like I said, this could have been 3 players. I mean, if Delap would have said yes, I don't know. Would we have still got Mbeumo? I don't know. But something's telling me with that being 30 million, that would have been 3 players signed. So the intent is there for Man United. And now I need them to lock down this Bryan Mbeumo deal and go and get Mateta, or listen, if we can get Gyökeres, great. If we can get Osimhen, great. But I'm just trying to be realistic. Go and put the money down for Mateta. Not no Mitrovic rubbish. Go and get Mateta. Go and bring me him. Bring me him. Bring that. Go and entice him. He's 27. Put a big contract down and say, listen, kid. Well, not kid, but, I know you're at Palace. I know that you're going to be in Europa League. We can't offer you that, but look what we're on. Look what we're on. Believe, man. So there you go. Bryan Mbeumo has chosen Man United. I'm gassed. I think this is the time to be gassed about it. And then we'll do other videos where we talk about, hold on, put the brakes on. Ineos haven't done this yet, and that in the third. But Bryan Mbeumo with an Ornstein bomber saying that he's decided to join Man United is massive news this evening. Let me know what you guys think. Am I doing too much? Should I be excited? I think I should be excited. This is exactly what we needed. I want to know what you guys think. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm out of here. Mbeuemo shining out. Peace.